Once upon a time, in a small African village called Ntemba, there lived a king named Oba Adewale. He was the richest king in the land. His palace was made of shining gold, and his treasury overflowed with jewels and cowries. Every morning, the villagers would gather outside the palace, hoping for a glimpse of the mighty king. King Adewale was known for his wealth but not for his kindness. He hoarded his riches and cared little for the struggles of his people. While his subjects toiled in the sun, growing crops and fetching water from faraway streams, the king dined on exotic meals and drank sweet palm wine from golden cups. Whenever the villagers came to him seeking help, he turned them away with harsh words. "Why should I share what I have worked so hard to gather?" he would say. "Go and solve your own problems." One fateful night, a strange old man appeared at the palace gates. He wore tattered clothes and leaned on a crooked staff. His eyes sparkled like stars, and his voice was soft but firm. "O great King Adewale," the old man began, "your people are hungry, and your wealth is vast. Will you not share even a little with them?" The king laughed mockingly. "Old man, I earned my wealth through wisdom and strength. Let them work harder if they want to be rich." The old man sighed deeply and said, "King Adewale, a man's true wealth is not in what he keeps but in what he gives. Since you have failed to learn this lesson, perhaps it is time you walk another path." With those words, the old man raised his staff and struck the ground. A bright light filled the palace, and when it faded, the king's golden throne had turned to wood, his robes to rags, and his treasure to dust. Bewildered, King Adewale found himself outside the palace gates, no longer a king but a beggar. The villagers, seeing the ragged man, did not recognize their former king. They chased him away, thinking he was just another wanderer. Alone and hungry, Adewale roamed from village to village, begging for scraps. The once proud king now slept under trees and drank from muddy streams. Months passed, and King Adewale learned what it meant to be poor. He felt the sting of rejection, the ache of hunger, and the cold bite of the night wind. Yet, he also saw something he had never noticed before. In the poorest villages, where people had little to give, they still shared what they had. A woman gave him a handful of maize, a child shared a piece of yam. Slowly, Adewale's heart began to change. One day, while resting under a baobab tree, the same old man appeared again. This time, his smile was warm. "King Adewale," he said, "have you learned the lesson of true wealth?" Tears filled Adewale's eyes. "Yes, I have. I have seen the kindness of those who have nothing, and I now know that true wealth lies in sharing and love." The old man nodded. "Then your time as a beggar is over." With a wave of his staff, the old man restored King Adewale to his former glory. But the palace, though grand, now had one difference: its gates were always open. From that day on, King Adewale used his wealth to help his people. He built wells so they would no longer walk miles for water, planted community farms to feed the hungry, and ensured every child could learn in a village school. The villagers, once wary of their king, grew to love him deeply. They called him Oba Oritupo, the king who shares. And though King Adewale still wore his crown, he never forgot the lessons of humility, kindness, and true wealth. And so, the village of Ntemba prospered, not because of the king's riches but because of his heart. The story of King Adewale's transformation became a tale passed down from generation to generation, reminding all who heard it that the greatest treasure is a generous spirit.